To the Other Side. This is Mike Kistler with Take Me to the Other Side. Of course, as for always, that is my theme track that I always come on to, Take Me to the Other Side by Spacemen 3, a band from Rugby, England. On today's program, I'd like to start us off with probably, I guess you could say, the first real cult bands in rock and roll. This is the Velvet Underground, the song off of their first record called There She Goes Again.
She's down on her knees, my friend, but you know she'll never ask you please again. Now take a look, there's no tears in her eyes. She won't take it from just any guy. What can you do? You see her walking on down the street. Look at all your friends that she's gonna meet. You better hit her. She's knocked out on her feet again. She's down on her knees, my friend, but you know she'll never ask you please again. Now take a look, there's no tears in her eyes. Like a bird, you know she will fly. What can you do? You see her walking on down the street. Look at all your friends that you're gonna meet. You better hit her.
And that was There She Goes Again by the iconic Velvet Underground. Fun fact, that recording was produced by art maestro Andy Warhol. Love him or hate him, he was responsible for that record being released. And infamously, people like David Bowie and Brian Eno took lots of inspiration from that record. Brian Eno even going as far as to say, very famously, maybe only 1,000 or so people bought that record, Velvet Underground and Nico, but each one of them started a band. Next up is one of those bands who started a band after listening to Velvet Underground. I have a selection from a 1980s UK band called the Jesus and Mary Chain, and this is a track that they made for a film called Some Kind of Wonderful called The Hardest Walk.
Never thought that this day would ever come. When your words and your thirst just let me know.
Hardest Walk by the Jesus and Mary Chain. I quite like that track. It's almost like they were trying to convince themselves to be commercial, but they couldn't quite get rid of the fuzz pedals. But I quite like that mix. Next up, it's another group kind of in the same vein, with the fuzzy guitars and leather pants and sunglasses the last two shared. This is a band from Memphis, Tennessee, who are still currently active. Quite, well, I wouldn't say the smallest band, but they're not as notable, I suppose, or known as the Velvet Underground, the Jesus and Mary Chain, but this is my friend's band, Switchblade Kid. And the track I have for you guys today is called Perpigillium Brown, which is a reference to a short-lived Doctor Who character from the mid-'80s, which I don't know, the inner nerd in me and any nerds out there listening probably like little literary references like that. But this is a track called Perpigillium Brown by Switchblade Kid. And that was Switchblade Kid. One of my good friends, Harry, is the lead singer of that group. So if you're ever in Memphis, Tennessee, you should try to check them out. Go by 901 Toys and Java Cabana, both owned by Mr. Switchblade Kid himself, and go check it out. Really cool scene going on down there. So if you're into goth rock kind of vibe, go check them out. And they have a new-ish record that came out just a few years ago called Love Has Gone Away, which is really good. It's an 8-track, not a mini album, but it's not too long. So go check it out on YouTube or wherever you stream music from. Love Has Gone Away by Switchblade Kid, which features that song and some others. The next track I have for you guys, we're going to go from America all the way to Denmark. This is one of my favorite bands from Denmark. I've played them a couple times already, but I love them. They're called the Ravenettes, and this is a track from their 2007 album Lust, 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 and it's called Dead Sound. That was Dead Sound by the Ravenettes. I really like that track. It's fuzzy and gothic sounding, but it has a good pop melody, and I like that in music, the kind of a dichotomy, I suppose, that provides. But no, it's a great track, and that whole album's great, Less, Less, Less. So if you have some, I think 35 minutes, it's not a very long record. If you have 35 minutes, go check out Less, Less, Less by Danish band the Ravenettes. That we're gonna go back in time now a little bit. We're gonna go back 27 years to 1980. This is a pretty iconic alternative rock band, but this is a track that I've never heard on the radio, and that's kind of what I aim for on this show, is to play stuff that, maybe it's known by people who listen to cult bands or whatever, but it's not stuff you hear on radio. But this is a track that I really like that I think honestly could have been a radio hit for them, at least in England. It never was. This is a track by The Cure. Everyone loves The Cure. And this is called Play for Today off their 1980 record, 17 Seconds. Was Play for Today by The Cure, one of my favorite English rock bands. I had the fortune of seeing them in New Orleans 2 years ago in 2023. It's one of the best concerts I've been to. But now we'd like to do a quick word from our sponsors.
When a person calls 988, they're connected to a crisis counselor.
Crisis is completely self-defined. If you're wondering if you should call, you should probably call.
A caller can expect to talk about coping skills, talk about resources, and ways to move forward beyond the call.
Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
This message is brought to you by Contact the Crisis Line, Contact Helpline, Mississippi Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
All right, and then the next track I have for you guys, we're going to go back to the 1960s. This is a band I think should have been a lot more successful in America than they were. This is the Kinks. And when you hear the Kinks, I mean, you're like, oh yeah, they're like, you know, a big British band, but it's only really 2 songs you hear on the radio by them. They both kind of sound the same. It's You Really Got Me and All Day and All the Night. I don't remember exactly what the details are, but essentially they got banned from touring the U.S. for a couple of years, and that kind of put a big dent on the rest of their career in the United States. But this is a track from around that period, if not just a little bit later, maybe after they were banned. But this is one of my favorite songs by them, and it's called I'm Not Like Everybody Else. I'm Not Like Everybody Else by the Kinks.
I won't take all that they hand me down and make out I smile though I wear a frown. And I'm not gonna take it all lying down, 'cause once I get started I go to town. 'Cause I'm not like everybody else. 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 And I don't wanna run around like everybody else. And I don't wanna live my life like everybody else. And I will say that I'm fine like everybody else, 'cause I'm not like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. But darling, you know that I love you true. Do anything that you want me to. Confess all my sins like you want me to. There's one thing that I will say to you. I'm not like everybody else. 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 And I don't wanna run around like everybody else. And I don't wanna live my life like everybody else. And I won't say that I'm confined like everybody else, 'cause I'm not like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. 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 If you all want me to settle down, slow up and stop all my running around. Do everything like you want me to. There's one thing that I will say to you. I'm not like everybody else. 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 And I don't wanna run around like everybody else. And I don't wanna live my life like everybody else. And I don't wanna stay fine like everybody else. 'Cause I'm not like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. 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 Like everybody else.
I'm Not Like Everybody Else by the Kinks. I almost played the Chocolate Watch Band cover of that. They're a garage US 60s band who feature really prominently in a cool movie called Riot on Sunset Strip. They did a really great version of that track, and I considered playing that, but I don't know, man. The Kinks are just the Kinks. It's hard to compete with the original. But next is a group who took a lot of inspiration from the Kinks, 10 years removed. This is a band called The Jam, also from England, and this is a track from their 1978 record, All Mod Cons. A funny story, I actually found a really cool promo copy of this record at End of All Music in Oxford. But what was great is that kind of no one knows who the Jam are in America. So I was able to get it for like $20 or something. It's like an original, good condition. And it was a promo copy, radio copy. But yeah, no one just seems to really know or care who the Jam are. But this is a really great track by them off that record called In the Crowd.
When I'm in the crowd, I don't see anything. My mind goes
a blank in the humid sunshine when I'm in the crowd. I don't see anything. I fall into a trance at the supermarket. The night flows me along as I catch falling cans. Our babies on toast. Technology is the most. And everyone seems just like me. They struggle hard to set themselves free and they're waiting for the change. When I'm in the crowd, I can't remember my name, and my only link is past the walls I scream. When I'm in the crowd, I don't see anything. Sometimes I think that it's a block, an equilibrium melting pot. The government sponsors on the hand. When I'm in the crowd, when I'm in the crowd, when I'm in the crowd. And everyone sees that they're acting a dream, 'cause they're just not thinking about each other, and they're taking orders which are really spawn that you should know better. Now you have me one that don't forget to sorry his words. In the crowd I don't see a thing. My mind goes a blank in the humid sunshine. When I'm in the crowd, I don't see anything. And life just simply moves along in simple houses, simple jobs, and no one's watching for the change. When I'm in the crowd, when I'm in the crowd, when I'm in the crowd.
And that was In the Crowd by The Jam. I really like that track. Very reminiscent of kind of the 60s English, British invasion type music, but it also has a little bit of a modern twist talking about technology. And, I guess in the 1970s, the whole Orwellian thing was, I guess, a bit more prominent compared to the 60s. But I really like Paul Weller's songwriting. He's the main guy in The Jam, and he always really writes kind of poignant lyrics about, how people react to the human condition. And I like that track a lot. Just, if you can read the lyrics to it, it's a great track. But this is another artist kind of from the same vein inspired The Jam. It's a band I really like called Small Faces, and they had kind of a similar thing to the Kinks, where I guess, it's just hard to compete with bands like the Beatles or the Stones, but they're a really great British invasion band. And this is a track by them from the mid-60s, and it's called All or Nothing.
I thought you'd listen to my reasoning, but now I see you don't hear a thing. Try to make you see how it's got to be. Yes, it's alright, all or nothing. Yeah, yeah. All or nothing. Come on, hot there. All or nothing for you. Things could work out just like I want them to. Yeah. If I could have the other half of you, yeah. You know I would. Yeah. If I only could. Yes, it's all or nothing. Oh, yeah. All or nothing.
was All or Nothing by the Small Faces. They have one track you'll occasionally hear on a classic rock radio called HEQ Park, but I don't know. Now that track's not really for me. I always thought that should have been the big hit that they had, but it wasn't. But anyway, so now we're gonna move, I guess, towards a more chill direction now. I feel like I've given you guys enough pumping music, I suppose. I don't know, energetic music. So we're gonna take a second and chill out to Galaxy 500, the band I consider the quintessential college rock band, or college rock radio band, I should say. This is a song off their record On Fire. I think I've mentioned it before. There's some copies of it for sale at Navon Music, so it's a great record. Go check it out. But this is a band from 1989, I believe. And this is a track called Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder by Galaxy 500.
Thinking of blue thunder, singing to myself, thinking how fast it moves, feeling how it turns. I was singing something on Route 128. Thinking how blue it looks, singing out loud. My blue thunder, my blue thunder. My blue thunder, singing out aloud. Singing out aloud.
And that was Blue Thunder by Galaxy 500. I really like that track. I really like that record. But next up on the agenda is another kind of laid back track, just a little bit, not too. I don't want to put everybody to sleep or nothing, but before we get back into the good stuff, this is a track by a band I've championed quite a handful of times on the show already, but I really do think they're one of the best, I guess, modern alternative rock American bands. But this is the Brian Jonestown Massacre with a track from 2001 called Nevertheless. And that was Nevertheless by the Brian Jonestown Massacre. I really love the guitar solo in that track, because whenever you imagine a guitar solo, it's just not that. I remember the first time I listened to that, I was like, what is that? Because it's like, I don't know, you always hear guitar players and they're so quick to, jump up the fretboard and be playing all crazy licks and everything. So when you hear a track like that, to me, it's refreshing to hear someone kind of just, lay it back a little bit, I suppose. It's kind of Rolling Stones-esque a little bit. But that's probably where the name came from anyway. But to get back onto the energetic side of it, I have a track by a UK band who formed in 1976 and broke up after the unfortunate death of the lead singer in 1980. This is a track called Disorder off the album Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division, one of my favorite bands. Disorder by Joy Division.
sensations make me feel the pleasures of a normal man. These sensations spare the insults, leave them for another day. I've got the spirit, lose the feeling, take the shovel away. Getting faster, moving faster, now it's getting out of hand. On the 10th floor down the back stairs, into no man's land. Lights are flashing, cars are crashing, getting frequent now. I've got the spirit, lose the feeling, let it out somehow. Sensation takes hold, then you know. Till the spirit new sensation takes hold, then you know. Till the spirit new sensation takes hold, then you know. I got the spirit, but lose a feeling. I got the spirit, but lose a feeling.
And that was Disorder by Joy Division off their debut record, Unknown Pleasures. It's a great record, must say. But I think most people who are online at any point have probably seen somebody talk about that record, or at least seen a t-shirt of it. It's one of those where you see people wearing a t-shirt of it all the time. But the next track I have for you guys is a local band from Corinth, Mississippi. I've played them on the show before, but I'm going to play them again. And this is a song called Want by Suicide Doors.
Buzz at closing time. In the dark, your eyes met mine. Your healer, feeler, and all you consume. From your Delta heat to your New York gloom. I want you, baby. I want you, baby. Wear a key round your neck. What does it unlock? What do you regret? You raise your hand, I pour you out. It's the little things that get me down. I want you, baby. I want you, baby. I want you, baby. I want you, baby.
just a craving. Forget the reason for it. There's no time left to save. I want you. I want you.
I want you, baby. 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 I want you,
That
baby.
was Once by Suicide Doors. Another great track. I really like that one and Alone off of their record. They've only have one album out at the moment, but you go check it out. They occasionally play, so I'm eagerly waiting for the next time that they do play. But unfortunately, I've run out of time. I will play one more song to close the show out. But before I go, I would like to say follow this show on Instagram at Take Me to the Other Side 92.1, all one word. But also, if you are in a local band in the Mississippi, Tennessee, wherever area in the Mid-South, I suppose, if you're in a local band or anything and you think that your music would fit in with this, please feel free to message me on there, and I'd love to check out any new music or anything and then spotlight it on the show. But to close the show out, I am going to be playing a track by New Order called Temptation. I hope to see you all next week on the other side on Thursday at 3. And until then, see you later.
Heaven, gateway, I walk. Just like a feeling I need, it's no joke. I know it hurts me to treat you this way. Betray my words I've never heard, too hard to say. Turn around, please don't let me hit the ground. Tonight I think I'll walk alone, I'll find my soul as I go home. Up, down, turn around, please don't let me hit the ground. Tonight I think I'll walk alone, I'll find my soul as I go home. Oh, you've got green eyes. Oh, you've got gray eyes. Oh, you've got blue eyes. Oh, you've got green eyes. Oh, you've got blue eyes. Oh, you've got gray eyes. And I've never seen anyone quite like you before. Oh, I've never met anyone quite like you before. Up, down, turn around, please don't let me hit the ground. Tonight I think I'll walk alone, I'll find my soul as I go home. Up, down, turn around, please don't let me hit the ground. Tonight I think I'll walk alone, I'll find my soul as I go home. Oh, it's the last time. Oh.